this is Diane Lovetobake, and what we're going to make are donuts, but we're going to make actually apple or applesauce donuts. They're really easy to make. You do fry them, but I do like that. Well, some people can't have yeast, so they make a great tasting donut, and it doesn't have yeast. And it doesn't have a lot of fat, yet it is fattening, I realize, to fry donuts. But in the ingredients, there isn't a lot of, like I said, very little butter, that type of thing. So let's get started. Now you can certainly make them with your hand mixer. I'm using my stand-up because I find it just is a little bit faster for me and for the video. So what you're going to do is you're first going to start off with 2 tablespoons of butter, and that's why I mentioned that's not very much at all, 2 tablespoons. It's been at room temperature. I cut it into little pieces, and then I'm just going to cream it and break it up. You're also going to be putting in 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar to the butter. So I'm just going to raise my speed a little bit and beat that together. That's combined, you're going to be putting eggs in, and you're going to need 2 eggs at room temperature. I'll just put one in at a time. I'm going to raise my speed a little bit, so I want to warn you about the sound. And there's the second egg. And just wait till that comes together. It looks kind of very light and fluffy and almost a pale yellow in color. And I'll show you what that looks like. There we go. Okay, so that's coming along nicely. All right. The next thing that you're going to be putting in, of course, you're going to need is applesauce, and you're going to need 3/4 of a cup. Now, I'm using a unsweetened applesauce, but you can certainly use sweetened applesauce. You can use the cinnamon flavored one if you prefer. They really all taste really good because I've tried them. And whatever type of applesauce that you choose, I think, like I said, they're very moist donuts. They're not real heavy or dense, but if you like the taste of apple and applesauce, I think you're going to like these. Okay, now just beat that together. Okay. And once you feel that that's combined quite nicely, okay, I'm just going to get to my sides here at the bottom of my mixing bowl here. Okay, you're going to start to put your dry ingredients together. And what you're going to need is 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I did sift it, though, ahead of time. Okay, you're also going to be putting in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, that was a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and then 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay. All right, and then with my spoon, I'm just going to stir it together a little bit. There we go. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to combine the dry with the wet, and then along with it, we're going to be using buttermilk, and you're going to need a 1/2 cup of buttermilk to alternate while you're putting the dry into the wet. Okay, and again, just stay with it on very low, like stirring it in. You don't want to really beat these donuts because you don't want them to get dense and heavy and that type of thing. So just alternate with your buttermilk. And then pretty low on your mixer. And what you want to do is just stay with it till you, till it forms a dough. Okay, that's the end of the dry. And then I'm just going to raise it up just a clean the sides of the bowl. Okay, and as you see, I didn't beat it very long at all. And I'm going to take my paddle out of here, if it'll cooperate with me. There we go. Okay, just quickly take some of the excess off here. Okay. All right. So the dough will look like this. Now it's going to be extremely wet. So what I have found works well for me is, you know, you're going to need to flour your board or your countertop, whatever you're, using, of course. And, just put this down on that and then start working it with your flour. Now, I have some made already that I had underneath the towel. I actually like it to rest a little bit. So once I work it with the flour on my countertop, then I actually let it sit for about 15 minutes or so, just for it to rest a little bit, that type of thing. So it'll look like this. It will have a different transformation look from when it comes out of the mixing bowl, as I just showed you. So I'm just going to take a small piece out of here, and we're going to roll it out. Now you're going to roll this out to 3/4 to 1 inch for your donuts. If you have a donut cutter, that works really good. I tend to just use this. I find it really easy to use, but you can use whatever that you prefer. But anyway, once you cut your donuts out, they'll look like that. So you want them more on the thick side because they're really going to puff up nicely for you, okay? And I'm going to fry this for you. I generally do not fry on this little cooktop, but for the video. All right, let's put this in slowly here. And it won't take very long at all. And you can also use the little donut holes and fry those as well. And it won't take, maybe 30, 40 seconds that you'll need to just flip it over, because they cook really quickly. And then, of course, you're going to need a paper towel on a cookie sheet or a pan or something like that to drain your donuts with. And you can see, I hope you can see how fast that they're coming up. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick because I'm going to touch that donut and I've got raw eggs on my hands. All right, let's see. Okay, the little donut hole is ready. And that donut is ready as well. So let me just unplug that, set that aside. And they do bake up just beautifully, as you can see. Here's the little donut hole, a nice medium golden brown. This is one that I fried earlier. Now what you can do is, after they're cool enough that you can handle, of course, take the donut and you can roll it in powdered sugar like this, and then serve it like that when they're even still warm. Okay. Or I also have rolled them in granulated sugar, or you can add some cinnamon to your granulated sugar. So, or you can eat them plain, really. They're a little easier for the sugar and that to stick to the donut when they're slightly, when they're warm, But again, you can eat them plain. You can roll them in granulated sugar, powdered sugar, or granulated with cinnamon mixture. And they really come out just delicious. I'm gonna break it open to show you. And they do fry up quite nice and moist. They're really a great tasting little donut. They really are. They're not, of course, they're not going to replace a yeast donut, that type of thing. They're more, you know, of a fried cake donut, but they really are tasty little donuts. So, well, there you have it. I want to show you what they look like. I have some that are already rolled with sugar. I had to go over and get them. And here's one that I just rolled in the cinnamon sugar, just the granulated sugar, and then we've got the powdered sugar one. So they really come out, very pretty to look at, you know, and serve. And they're great tasting little donuts. So there you have it. Applesauce donuts. I hope you like this recipe. If you do and you give it a try, well, leave a comment because I'd like to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching Diane Lovetobake, and please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you soon.